Hello and welcome to my third League video. In this video I'm going to be going over my third League game, which was against Chaos Demons. The primary mission was Take and Hold, which means you score 5 victory points for each objective marker you're holding at the beginning of your command phase. The mission rule was hidden supplies, which just means there's an extra objective in no man's land. So we kind of had two center objectives, and they were 6 inches away from each other. I should say this was done before the points update. So in my list I had Angron, Lord Invocatus, Lord on Juggernaut with the Helm of Brazen Ire, which halves the damage that they take, a group of 10 Jackals, one unit of 3 8-bound, 2 units of 3 Exalted 8-bound, and 2 Forge Fiends. So a very different list to what I'm used to using, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it did its job, and it was good enough. In the background, at the moment, you can see some of my partner's models. I'm going to leave a link in the description to her Instagram. It's called the Pink Succubus, where you can see a lot more of her models as well as closer up pictures of them. But with that said and out the way, we are going to move on to the battle. On the first turn, I did forget to take some pictures, so you will see, I believe the beginning of turn 2 is when I started taking pictures. So in reserve, I had 1 unit of 3 8-bound and a Forge Fiend, and my opponent went first. So on his turn, he gets Assassination and Bring It Down. He ends up discarding Assassination, which he got Secure No Man's Land, and at the end of his turn he discarded Bring It Down. He did score 5 points for No Man's Land, and you cannot score the primary on the first turn, so 0 on that for now. On my turn 1, I get No Prisoners and Recover Assets. I do manage to score No Prisoners for 4 points, as I killed 2 units that he had in the centre with Angron. And for Recover Assets, I get 3 points. Moving on to turn 2, my opponent scores 10 on primary, as they're currently holding 2 objectives. They draw Area Denial, which they instantly discard. So they end up with Extend Battle Lines and Defend Stronghold. I had no intention of trying to stop them getting Defend Stronghold, so we scored that then and there. Extend Battle Lines they do get for 5. This turn I do Rapid Ingress my Forge Fiend into their backline so it can watch the centre. And then on my turn I score 10 points for Take and Hold. I also get Defend Stronghold as well as Establish Locus. I do get Establish Locus for 4 points, and I get Defend Stronghold for 3, as my opponent did not capture my home objective. I still had my Jackals on it. I had a Forge Fiend next to my home objective, and I also had my Lord and Juggernaut that you can see on screen at the moment at the bottom, and he ended up moving back to help block Deep Strike. Should have clarified this earlier. The red model on Juggernaut is what I'm using as my Lord, and the black/grey/silver, whatever you want to call it, that one is my Lord Invocatus. Turn 3, my opponent gets Containment and Behind Enemy Lines. He scores Containment for 3 victory points, and he does get Behind Enemy Lines as he moved up a group of his Fiends into my home objective, which did end up charging my Forge Fiend. So as he got 1 unit in my deployment, he does get 3 points for that. In my turn, I get Secure No Man's Land and Overwhelming Force. which I do get 5 points for each, as I managed to kill his fiends, which are on one of the centre objectives, and I managed to kill the mask, which was on the objective at the top that you can see now, where the 8 bound are. At the end of turn 3, I do take a secret mission, which, being World Eaters, you can probably guess which one it is, but if not, it is Command Invasion, Commander something. The one where you have to get your warlord on your opponent's home objective. The plan for this was Angron. He had died by this point due to Shalaxi. Also, Shalaxi is a beast of a model. Even though at the time of this she was 450 points, she easily made her points worth. I know they have recently changed it to, I believe, 425, which, if she's worth the points at 450, she definitely is at 425. But yeah, 100% I would take her if I was playing a Chaos Demons list. Turn 4, my opponent gets Engage in all fronts and Establish locus. My opponent scores 4 points for Engage in all fronts, and they do not manage to score Establish locus this turn. However, they do keep it for moving into turn 5. On my turn 4, I drew Cleanse and Engage in all fronts. I didn't fancy my chances doing Engage in all fronts, so I discarded that into Assassination, which I do keep because there was a chance of me killing Shalaxi at this point. It wasn't a high chance, but there was a chance. Then moving into final turn, turn 5, I roll my Blessings dice, and Angron does not come back. So at this point, I've accepted a loss. He was my only chance of really catching up. However, my opponent gets Establish Locus for 4 points, and Cleanse, which I also get 4 points for. And in my turn 5, I end up discarding Assassination, and I got Sabotage and Containment instead, which I got 3 points for each. I do apologise for the background sound and the lower quality video and very short video this time around. I've had a lot going on this week, and this is the only chance I've had to record properly. So thought I would take it even if it's not an ideal situation. But I hope this is still a good enough video that you were entertained and learnt something from. Like I said, I do apologise for it, but soon it will be higher quality again, and I will have more time, and I'm hoping to throw out more videos soon. But for the next 2 weeks or so, it will be limited. I will be posting on Instagram and potentially a few YouTube shorts, but for the moment it's going to be a bit slower than it was. Also, the reason for the big gap between league games is I had to change when my league game was due to someone else needing to have their game when I originally had mine planned. So I ended up playing this league game on the Sunday, and then my next league game the day after on the Monday. So there will be another league video coming out soon, but I'm going to wait till I have more time and can put more time into that video so it is composed a bit better than this one has been. I do realise this is rushed, and again I do apologise for that. But coming up in a moment you will have the score sheet for anyone who wants to look at that. At the moment in the league I have won 1 and lost 2, but all of my opponents have been great, and I even spoke to my opponent after this game about what could I have done to improve, and we went through the game together talking about it, and for the main part, the only thing I could have done is potentially modified the list a little bit so I had more like chaff clearing, because I was using obviously 8-bound and Angron just to clear smaller units, which I did end up changing in my next game. But I've had great opponents so far, and like I said, I've recorded my 4th game. Sorry, I haven't recorded it. I've played my 4th game. I still need to make the video on it. So I do just have 1 game left of the league, which will have the new points in effect. So Angron's gone up 20 points, Spawn have gone up 5, Master of Execution's gone up 10, and then I believe it's the Winged Demon Prince has gone down by like 20, 25, something like that. So in my next game I may try a game without Angron, but we will see. With that, thank you for watching. No, I keep saying it, but I do really apologise for how quick and rushed this video is, but I want to get something out. If you want a video that I've spent more time on and I'm quite happy with, and it has quite a lot of rewatchability, my last video was going over the Farai Nexus secondary missions, so please check that out, and I will see you next time.